Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Ingrid and so thank you so much for joining me today. Now I'm hoping you can laugh with me or maybe you can just learn as I have learned. I really thought I had it all figured out, but unfortunately I wasn't. You guys, there are things that we need to do in order to solidify our preps. Okay, so long story short here, you guys, on the 28th of last month, I received an email around about 7 p.m. from my city utility company. And this email was regarding the water emergency outage. Now, the email wanted me to confirm that I received it and that I was aware that there was going to be a water outage. Now, as you can see the email here, you guys, part of it was in Spanish, so I kind of removed that. Pardon me, of course, for reducting some of the info here that is revealing as into where I am. Unfortunately, I'm still not ready to share that information after this time, but hopefully I'll get there one day. But that being said, when I was reading this email, I was just thinking the actual emergency was happening at that particular time because this was at 7 p.m. Who was working at that time? But anyways, I was assuming just that there was a water outage already, or it was going to be happening in a minute, and it may take probably all night, and we may have water the next day. So I didn't think much of it. I went back to work. But the thing is, since I started prepping, I couldn't, get rid of this feeling of going back and reread this email one more time. I had this nagging question that I really needed to know exactly when I was going to have this water outage and how long was going to be. And I was trying to see if maybe there was anything else that I can actually get from this email that was going to give me that. But as you can see the email, you guys, there's nothing in there. This is it. This is what I exactly received from my city utility company. There's no date, there's no time frame, there is nothing in here. It's just letting you know that, you know what, you're not going to have water, that's it. And so that caused me to think that maybe the water outage was going to be the next day. And since they don't really know the time frame of that, they're not giving the time frame of that. So that means probably the actual outage is going to be probably the whole day. There's a chance that it could be there the whole day. They don't know. I didn't know. And there was no way for me to really try to figure it out at that particular time. And so what I did was to look into the worst case, scenario of me not having water the next day. The next day was going to be a Saturday. That means I was going to have my kids. The worst case scenario I could come up with was the fact that I was not going to have the water for the toilet. So I was like, okay, no problemo. I should be able to just fill up my bathtub. I have this tub in my master bath and it's right next to the toilet. I just need to fill it up. It can fill up at least about 100 gallons of water in there, you guys. And so since it's right next to the toilet, as you can see here, I shouldn't have any problem. I was just going to put something there that's going to help me to put in water into the toilet, and that way it flush and all the waste is taken care of. And I was thinking that is good enough for a whole day, at least till we figured out exactly what was going to happen. And so I also decided to do the laundry, you guys, and clean up just in case anything happened. Now, I do have plenty of drinking water and stored up water. I didn't want to use that up for things like cleaning up, washing dishes. And so I had to literally collect some of the water. I had to take some of the containers from my recycling bin and clean them up, and then just put in water to clean up the dishes there and clean up around just in case. But that being said, okay, when I was going to take a shower, I first tried to warn my kids just to see their reaction, which was not much the very thing that I was expecting anyway. They look at me like I had, 5 heads when I was warning them about, us not having water the next day. Like, so what's the big deal, Mom? So we're not gonna have water. So what's the big deal? So I decided not to stress about that. Go take a shower. But as I was on my way to take a shower, I realized that the bathtub was not holding up water, you guys. That was a surprise to me. Okay, it was not holding. So I tried to tighten up the valve or that stopper thing there to make sure that I'm not losing water. And I realized that thing was already tight, but I was still losing water in there. And the best thing I could think of was to fill up the actual 5-gallon bucket with water and weigh down the stopper itself, which I was not so sure how much it was going to try to seal the valve, because I was not so sure exactly how it was losing water at the first place, because everything kind of looked tight in there. And so that did not work. And one day, next time I will try to probably put a plastic bag in there and see how it works, and before I tighten the valve. But that did not work with the actual bucket in there. And so I realized that my plan of filling up the bathtub with water for the toilet was a sham, right? It was not working. It was not going to work. The bathtub cannot hold water for more than 5 hours. After, it just loses water slowly, and it cannot hold it. And that was my real good plan, I thought, of actually having water for the toilet just in case. It was not working, and I was thinking, how many other plans do I have that will not work? I was just kind of really mad at myself. I was mad at myself also because, listen to this, my other backup plan for the toilet is a camping toilet that I have. But I happened to camp last summer with my kids, and I never replaced the biogel waste powder to solidify the liquids. And that was another thing. I'm like, you know what? I've procrastinated more than enough on this. I should have replaced this biogel product, this biogel waste powder things. I just need to have this all the time. But I never did, right? And so I have plenty of waste bags when it comes to this toilet, to this camping toilet, but I don't have enough of those biogel waste powders. They're good to also, they're good to take away odors also. So they're not just taking away, and they're not just solidifying the liquids, but they're also good for the solids, just to take away that smell. And so if this was a disaster, that's what I was thinking. If this was a disaster, my plan would have fallen apart. It was never going to work. But because this was just, just an isolated issue within my area, and for maintenance or for repair, that's it. I could go to the store and buy these things. But I was really, really mad at myself for not having these things beforehand, and not having a plan that was going to work beforehand. And so this was a wake-up call for me, you guys. I'm hoping it is a wake-up call for anyone who thought they could do something like this. You guys, go check it out. Make sure your bathtub can hold water more than 24 hours, because mine couldn't do that. My kids' bathroom also couldn't do it. And so, again, to move forward here, the next day came. Good thing is I did not have a water outage. That was a good thing. I was able to go through the whole day. I waited to see the whole day to see if there was going to be a water outage. Nothing. And so I was a bit relieved, but I knew that I needed to do something and find out exactly when this water outage was going to be. And so I decided to go to their website to find out when the water outage was going to be, which is something I should have done earlier on. But anyways, I was able to learn something here, so I was not so hard on myself for that. And their actual website had everything, right? It had the date of when the water outage was going to be, and it had a time frame as into how long it was going to be, unlike the email they send it to us. And so I was a bit relieved because that particular time frame they gave us and that date, my kids were going to be at school. And I work at night, so I'm usually sleeping around this time. So that was not going to be a problem. But this, besides the point, right? I knew that I had to fill up these loopholes within my preps. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here, you guys. I just wanted to share with you this kind of story because it's pretty interesting that, you know what, it's very important that we test our preps before anything. And so personally, I did decide to buy about 53-gallon water tank to store for the toilet. And I like this because you can put it away and you can actually use it for emergency. And I'm going to go ahead and probably share with you guys when I do receive this. And I also had to replace all these biogel waste powders for my toilet. I had to literally do those right away. I was not going to go ahead and procrastinate on that. This was a lesson learned. And so that being said, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Go ahead and stay tuned for the next video. And thank you so much for all the new preppers. I mean, not new preppers, but all the new subscribers. Thank you so much, you guys. Welcome. All of you guys who subscribed to this particular channel. You're basically supporting me here and keeping me on my toes because as you can see, I'm a procrastinator here, a really bad one. And so really actually having to periodically look into these preps, it helps a lot. And so keeping me on my toes like this helps this channel, and it helps me as a prepper also. So thank you so much for joining me. You guys have a wonderful day.